extra minutes that you got for the paper. तो जो last year quant specially, it's not that I'm good at quant, but I would say that quant was definitely lengthier. Last year there were more DI sets, 4 DI set आए थे, इस बार सिर्फ 2 set आए थे. So quant was definitely lengthy and difficult, although there were some sitters. You will agree that there were some sitters also, but at the same time, overall if I talk about, quant was lengthy. Verbal RC part was difficult. Philosophy based questions and RC questions were not easy. Verbal was okay type. Decision making, one of the sets was your number based decision making. That was a good set. How many of you attempted that set? I'll solve that set and I'll share in the solution as well, that how to attempt that particular question. So decision making mix of easy and difficult sets, and decision making is always tricky. You do not know what the right answer is, so you cannot expect कि आपकी 100% accuracy होगी. Even if you manage to get somewhere around 70 to 80% of accuracy, that's great in decision making. VARC, VA part was fine, doable. RC part was tricky. One of the parajumbles was also tricky, and rest, grammar and punctuation based questions, those were easy, but RCs were definitely not very easy to understand and answer. So philosophy based passages, they were shorter passages this time, but 2 of them were straight philosophy based. One was on manifestation, another one was procrastination. So all these topics which people do not generally read. So all in all, I believe कि VARC was similar lines. Verbal थोड़ा सा easy कर दिया, तो RC tricky कर दिया था. So verbal की cut off लगभग उतनी जाएगी जितनी last year गई थी. Second thing is DM, it is always unpredictable. तो जो लोग कह रहे होंगे कि DM आसान था, when you get the answer keys, you will realize that okay, that is always a tricky thing. There were some of the sets which were very tricky in DM, okay, and like especially that diversity in workforce. One of the sets was on diversity, and then there was one set on sexual harassment. That also was very tricky. And moonlighting, okay, so that you must have done. Then one business school, Bharat Business School, that was also something that was tricky. So in DM, one must have attempted a good number of questions, at least 15 तो मिनिमम अटेम्प्ट करने चाहिए, तभी जाके थोड़ा कुछ श्योरिटी रहेगी हाँ कि कट ऑफ क्लियर हो सकती है अगर एक्यूरेसी सही गई तो. बिकॉज यू कैन नॉट गेट एक्सपेक्ट लाइक 90% एक्यूरेसी और सो. यू कैन हैव लाइक 70-80% एक्यूरेसी if it was tricky that way. And yes, that professor वाला was also very difficult. मतलब वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि कौन सा सही है. Now you will have to wait for the answer keys. Different people will give different reasons for that कि A को लेना चाहिए, B को लेना चाहिए, C को लेना चाहिए. But based on the final answers, people will devise their strategy. Okay. So if you have done more than 15 attempts in DM, that should be considered as a good attempt. Like agar 16 to 18 attempts with good accuracy rate would help you clear the cutoffs. Okay, quant also there were some good tricky questions. Geometry के questions आए थे इस बार काफ़ी. coordinate geometry भी आया था, trigonometry भी आया था. So quant tested you on all different aspects, and quant was difficult. Okay, so some of you would say कि quant easy आया था. Not at all. It was way more difficult than last year. One of the DI sets was it was very difficult to interpret data out of it. ठीक है, वो difficult था. Then जो table आई थी, that was doable, वो easy था. And in quant there were some sitters. ऐसा नहीं कि सारे क्वेश्चन डिफिकल्ट थे, कुछ आसान भी थे, कुछ डिफिकल्ट भी. देयर वर 2 data sufficiency this time. Okay, and which did not used to come as a standalone question. DI का ही part होता था, but this time they had 2 standalone data sufficiency questions. There were 2 DI sets, and then rest was spread across geometry, mensuration, like it was mostly algebra. Everything was covered in geometry, I would say. ठीक है, तो कुछ ऐसे नहीं थे कि कोई पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक से, हर टॉपिक से क्वेश्चंस थे. कुछ क्वेश्चंस इजी थे क्वांट में, नो डाउट. I would say around maybe 8 to 10 questions were easy and doable. And then it was about picking your set of questions कि आपको कौन से टॉपिक में कंफर्ट है and then going ahead with them. तो अगर किसी ने पूरा क्वांट अटेम्प्ट किया है तो in my opinion must have taken at least 80-85 minutes to अगर किसी कोई ऐसा होता ना कि ठीक है वर्बल डीएम नहीं आता तो क्वांट में हम पूरा करके आएंगे, तो क्वांट वुड हैव टेकन at least 80-85 minutes even for a very good student, which was not the case last year. Last year people used to attempt quant in entire section in around 70-75 minutes or so. This time it took more time because there were more individual questions than group questions, and there were a couple of data sufficiency questions also, trigonometry, coordinate geometry. They tested you on all topics. Okay, and I believe 1 or 2 questions, I'm not sure that the answers, एक वो जो चेस बोर्ड वाले का था, आई बिलीव द आंसर वॉज इनकरेक्ट, बट आई रिकैलकुलेट इट. ओके, मेरा 1/9 आ रहा था, बट कुछ जमा नहीं मुझे वो क्वेश्चन, सो आई मार्क दैट 112/2016. सो लेट मी नो व्हाट वाज द आंसर टू दैट, आपने जो अटेम्प्ट किया. देन देयर वर अगेन मिक्स ऑफ, आई वुड से दैट easy and difficult questions. एक एंट वाला क्वेश्चन आया था which was very popular during CAT 2016, और जिसने उसमें लॉजिक नहीं लगाया होगा must have got it wrong. कई लोगों ने सीधे डायगनल ले लिया होगा. You had to take one straight line and then diagonal. Okay, and then apart from it, I'd say that verbal ability VA was on the finer side. RC was difficult, or like if you talk about the second part they had given 3 choices this time. One was on one of the topics which I wrote on was that if your IQ is one person has lesser IQ but is earning more, okay, as because they do not doubt their abilities. Another topic was risk is essential need of soul and absence of risk gives trouble. And then there was third topic was on rapid decarbonization to fulfill net zero commitment will have business consequences. So these were the topics of essay. GK was easy this time. Okay, and two of the questions, if you would see, were directly from my video which I created recently. One was on Vikrant S, and then another one was on Chief Justice of India. And apart from that, there were questions which people must have easily done, like questions like BTS सभी को पता होगा, FIFA के बारे में जो questions आए थे, 2 questions आए थे, highest goal, okay, and I believe कि GK में बहुत ज़्यादा टेंशन नहीं लगा होगा लोगों को. मैंने पहले भी कहा था कि GK पे बहुत ज़्यादा फोकस करने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी. People could have done definitely okay in GK. So all in all, now let's talk about cutoff, जिसकी लोग सबसे ज़्यादा डिस्कशन करेंगे. VRC, I believe the cutoff will be somewhere around 8 to 9, okay, in that range. अगर आपके 8 to 9 आ रहे हैं तो that should be good enough to clear the cutoffs. 75 percentile or so, 75-80 percentile. DM cutoffs again very very subjective. DM is always the game. Last year भी लोग कह रहे थे कि हाँ DM में ये होगा, बाद में आंसर्स काफ़ी अलग आते हैं. So DM it is very difficult to figure out the answers. Okay, I again believe कि वो भी 7-8 या ज़्यादा जा सकता है. It depends on how many people attempted that numerical based set. कितने लोगों ने वो numerical वाला DM किया? कितने लोगों ने किया था न्यूमेरिकल वाला डीएम? प्लीज लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट्स दैट इफ यू अटेम्प्टेड दैट न्यूमेरिकल डीएम सेट. उससे काफ़ी डिपेंड करेगा कि कितने लोग कट ऑफ, बिकॉज दैट 3 मार्क्स इफ समवन इज न्यूमेरिकली साउंड नोज दैट प्रोसेस. अगर किसी ने कैट के डीआई अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस किए होंगे, वो कई लोगों ने वो डीएम मतलब वो वाला डीआई सेट लाइक मैंने भी अपने कोर्सेज में कराया था उस तरह का डीआई सेट, प्रोसेस बेस्ड कैसे होता है. अगर लोगों ने वो, जो लोग अगर डीआई में अच्छे हैं और जिनने वाला चीज़ की होगी तो 3 मार्क्स वर फ्रीबीज फॉर दोज पीपल. ओके, पर जिनको नहीं आता वो प्रोसेस बेस्ड कैसे बनाते हैं, सो दैट वुड हैव बीन अ चैलेंज. तो अगर दैट विल बी द डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर. ओके, एंड आई बिलीव कि इट्स अ सब्जेक्टिव थिंग अगेन दैट मेनी पीपल मे नॉट बी नोइंग हाउ टू डू दैट काइंड ऑफ सेट, क्योंकि वो ऐसा नहीं था कि उसमें आप तुक्के मार सको. ठीक है, जैसे बाकी में होता है कि आप ठीक है सोच समझ के कर लेते हो, ठीक है ये मुझे स्टोरी समझ में आ रही है, कुछ कर लेंगे. सो दैट विल बी द डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर. If majority of the people have been able to do that successfully, दैट वुड चेंज द गेम, तो उससे कट ऑफ ऊपर जा सकती है। या फिर अगर बहुत सारे लोग ये सोच के कहते हैं कि न्यूमेरिकल बेस्ड डीएम नहीं आती है, तो उसके बेसिस पे कट ऑफ नीचे भी जा सकती है। ओके, सो that said, in personally I did that very easily, but not the case with majority of the people. So I think that DM cutoff should again be somewhere around 6.5 to 7.5, उससे ज़्यादा कट ऑफ नहीं जाएगी। QA कट ऑफ माइट गो अप बिकॉज टाइम ज़्यादा था, लोगों ने अटेम्प्ट किया होगा, एंड देयर वर सम सिटर्स। आई वुड से कि ओवरऑल क्वांट moderate to difficult था, but considering that there were some sitters which people must have picked, it was about judicious picking and people questions। ठीक है, इट्स नॉट लाइक कि जहाँ पे टाइम कम होता है लोग कंफ्यूज हो जाते हैं कौन सा करना ऐसा नहीं करना है। यहाँ पे काफ़ी टाइम होता है, लोगों ने अच्छे से क्वेश्चंस पिक कर लिए होंगे। सो क्वांट की कट कुड बी समवेयर अराउंड 9 to 10 एंड लाइक इफ आई टॉक अबाउट ओवरऑल कट ऑफ समवेयर अराउंड 35 इन माई ओपिनियन, या 34 से 36 की रेंज कर सकते हो। दैट शुड बी फॉर XLRI। अगर आप इतना स्कोर कर ले तो दैट यू शुड ईजिली से थ्रू। So let me know how many questions you attempted, and please do like this stream if you are finding this analysis useful. So we will have a discussion session at 9 p.m. I will discuss some of the memory based questions which I have kept with me, and also the DM special one कि कई लोगों को curiosity होगी वो कैसे करना है। I am slightly far away from my house, the center. If it was close by, I could have started much earlier. So at 9 p.m. I'll be coming live with the discussion of the questions, कौन कौन से क्वेश्चन आए थे, और वो DM वाला स्पेशली वाला सेट किस तरह से करना था। And I believe कि like let me know in comments that how many of you attempted that, so that I get to know कि what will be the state of DM, because that would be the deciding factor in that section, because other questions you could do based on your understanding of the story. People read the story, समझ में आती है, कुछ अकल लगाते हैं कि हाँ ऐसा हो सकता है ऐसा हो सकता है, they could have done that, but that numerical was purely based on the concept of understanding that process thing, like if you understand how to calculate the time of process, so that was pure DI. I would say that was more of data interpretation than decision making. Okay, answers I'll discuss right and on my Telegram group as well, and then later on I'll have a memory based solution video in which I'll discuss the solution to the questions. Okay, so do let me know in the comments how many questions you attempted in each of the sections and how much you are expecting as your score. So my guess like 7 to 8 in both VRC and DM. Okay, and DM could be slightly lower also this time because of that number based set. Again, there were some tricky questions in DM which definitely you would agree to. कुछ सेट ऐसे थे जिसमें नहीं लग रहा था कि कौन सा सही हो सकता है, एंड डेफिनेटली एवरी ईयर इवन इफ यू लुक लाइक द आंसर्स, वहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि सही है, पर बाद में आपको एक्चुअल पता चलेगा। रिस्पॉन्स शीट 2 बार आती है, पहले दिन आती है, लोग उसके आंसर बना देते हैं, एंड देन यू विल सी दैट ओके नेक्स्ट डे जब 1-2 दिन बाद वो आंसर्स के साथ आती है तो कई लोग आंसर चेंज कर देते हैं। ठीक है, सो दैट विल बी सरप्राइजिंग थिंग दैट यू विल बी वेटिंग फॉर। DM वो हर साल की स्टोरी है, DM इज ऑलवेज ट्रिकी, नेवर थिंक दैट कि ये ईजी होगा। और बाकी क्वांट ओवरऑल क्वांट लेंदी था, जो 10 मिनट्स एक्स्ट्रा बढ़ाए थे वो आई गेस इसी वजह से थे, और देयर वर सम सिटर्स दो, ऐसा नहीं था कि कुछ भी करने लायक नहीं था। देयर वर सम क्वेश्चंस व्हिच पीपल कुड हैव पिक्ड एंड डन, एंड अदर्स must have taken time. Good number of questions from geometry, trigonometry, coordinate, etc. Okay, and I'll discuss these questions at 9 p.m. so please do join that stream. Alright, so I hope your examination went well, and now अगर जिसका अच्छा गया तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं भी गया तो कोई बात नहीं। अब कुछ एग्जाम्स आने वाले हैं, टेस्टनेट है, टेस्टनेट के मैंने मॉक टेस्ट लॉन्च कर दिए हैं, उसके फॉर्म अभी 15 तक भरे जाने वाले हैं, सो प्लीज़ डू फिल दैट फॉर्म इफ़ यू आर टारगेटिंग HR। जो HR के लिए स्पेसिफिक स्टूडेंट्स थे जो आज XLRI में अच्छा नहीं कर पाए, तो HR टेस्टनेट में भी होता है काफ़ी अच्छा, तो यू कैन apply to that. And Maharashtra CET notification has also come. So last hope Jamna Lal Bajaj जो रहती है, for that also you can try for now. और अच्छी बात है इस बार मार्च में एग्जाम हो जाएगा. So you are in that momentum, you can appear in this examination and do that well. Okay, so I'll be coming up with the courses, paid courses for CET and CMAT very soon, which I'll let you know on my channel. So yeah, I hope you did well in the examination, and you must be tired. So am I. So let's meet at 9 p.m. when I'll discuss the questions that were asked in the examination, and then you can check कि कैसे करने थे, क्या अप्रोच होनी थी, और वो DM वाला सेट मैं बताऊंगा कि किस तरह से उसे अप्रोच करना था, एंड हाउ मेनी फ्यू आर एबल टू सॉल्व दोस क्वेश्चंस. DM वाले का बता देता हूँ. एक आंसर मुझे याद है 32.3 था, और दूसरे का था 38, थर्ड वाले का था दैट G, मोस्ट वॉलेटाइल, क्योंकि वॉलेटाइल वही है कि जिसमें टाइम काफ़ी चेंज हो सकता है, राइट. सो 5 से 10 और 7 ऐसे करके था. मोस्ट वॉलेटाइल वॉज दैट प्रोसेस. Okay, so we'll see that solution video at 9 p.m. So do join me live and then. So I hope you had a great time today. Must be tired. So take rest and see you in the evening. Goodbye.